Ego kit that I purchased. It was a little while back. I got it from Pure Smoker. It was the 650 kit. I believe they had it on sale for $45. And it came with two 650 mAh batteries, little plastic clicky button, two cones, a low resistance and a regular resistance atomizer, wall wart, USB fast charger. It came with a little pouch and probably 5 or 10 pre-filled cards. A few of the points that I wanted to hit on is, number one, mark your Ego charger or your Riva charger if you bought a Riva. You don't want to charge your standard 510 batteries with this. It can burn them out. It charges them too fast. It gives them too much power. You're going from 280, all the way up to 650 mAh. It's just too much for a standard battery. So mark your charger. On the cones, you want to keep the threads clean. You also want to keep the threads clean on the battery. They're very thin threads. I don't want to call them cheap. I mean, they work well. Mine have withstood the test of time, screwing on and off. You can use a little Noah locks on them. There are other items. Some people use Vaseline. I recommend the Noah locks. It works very well. On your atomizers, don't use the low resistance, or I recommend don't use the low resistance atomizers on a 650 mAh battery. It depletes the battery life significantly. And if you want to go and use the low resistance atomizer, purchase a higher mAh battery. It's just not going to do as much damage as quick. And for that, I did not use my low resistance atomizer. This isn't a low resistant. This is another one, so I can show you about getting rid of the primer fluid that is in the atomizers when you first get them. It's some pretty nasty stuff. It's not fun to inhale. It can choke you. Like I said, it tastes bad. And when you open them up, it's all over it. It's in the packaging, and it's just everywhere. Have a paper towel handy. The cart that comes with it is a dummy cart. You can use it later. Don't throw it away. It can be used as a dripping tip, and I'm sure most of you know what that is. If you don't know yet, you will know soon. On the atomizer, once you get it wiped off pretty good, you want to blow it out. And I blow mine out from both ends. I start from the wide end, blowing into it out the threaded ends. You have two little holes down at the bottom that help the airflow. And juice can sometimes get clogged in there, so you want to make sure to use alcohol to clean the threads and to clean those holes. Use alcohol on the threads on the cone and also on the battery. And you can put it on a Q-tip and clean out the inside of your charger. Do this at least once a week. A couple of times a week is better, but at least once a week, and you'll see better performance on your batteries, and your charger will last you a lot longer. And a blowout to begin with. I'm starting at the wide end. Blow pretty hard. Get as much out as you can. You can see it on the tissue. It's just a clear primer. It has a little bit of a metal smell to it to me. Could be just me, but I can smell it. Couple times from the wide end. Wipe your threads off really good, because you're going to put that in your mouth and blow from that end. If you blow pretty hard, you can get almost all of this out right up front. And take your tissue. Let's get it pointy at one end. Stick it in the atomizer. Be very gentle. You don't want to mess with the mesh. You don't want to mess with the wick that's in there. But you do want to get the primer off the walls of the atomizer. Now, as for the cart, I have one filled on this atomizer. I use Fluval if I'm going to use a cart. It is an aquarium filter you can get from the pet store. It's very thin. It's layered. You can pull it apart. You can make it as thick or as thin as you want to. Now, to fill a fresh cart with Fluval, you just put your cart up beside your Fluval. Take some good sharp scissors, cut it about the length of the cart. There we go. And just work it in. You'll be able to tell when it's resisting. You take your scissors, let's trim it down. You don't want any flyaway hairs that can get into the atomizer. If they get caught, it'll pull the Fluval right out. That's pretty good. Now I've got my filler in a fresh cart ready to fill. Now on the old cart that I already have in here, it's filled. I've got Fluval in it. I have Backwoods Brew Malty in there. You can use tweezers to pull it in and out and up and down. I'm going to go ahead and fill this. You want the cart to be glossy on top. You don't want your juice to pool, P-O-O-L, on top. Drip what you can in. Take a toothpick. Pull your Fluval or your filler up and down until it soaks it up. And like I said, this one already had some in it. You can see how it's just glossy on top. It's like a little slushy. It's not pooling, it's not just sitting on top. Now with the empty one, we'll go ahead and do that one also. The first time you fill one, you can take your juice and drip some in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's 10 drops. I'm going to take my Fluval. It's dry, it has nothing on it. It's the fresh Fluval you just saw me cut. And I'm going to work it down into that juice, slowly but surely. It'll start soaking it up. Take my tweezers, push it on down. A little stray hair here. Let's cut that off. There we go. And I should be able to get a few more drips in there. There we go. Let's grab our toothpick. Move around a little more. How many is that? 12 drops by now? I'll be able to get a couple more in there. There we go. Look there, it's not even glossy, it's just soaking it right up. Fluval really works nicely. Okay, we have a little pooling on top. So let's use our toothpick, pull it up just a tad. Push it back down, and it just drinks it right up. It becomes very easy after the first couple of times of filling these and cleaning it. And with the Fluval or polyfill, you can take it out, rinse it under hot water, get it good and clean, take a paper towel and roll it in there, and it's just, you can reuse it over and over again, probably 7 or 8 times. This is the atomizer that we blew out. You can see down in there, there is a washer that is white and it's rectangular shaped. There we go. In the very middle is the mesh of the atomizer. That helps wicking under, and that's on top of a metal bridge. Under the bridge is a wick that holds on to your juice as you use your atomizer. Pulls the juice from the cart, goes into the wick, and the wick goes down into the cup and leads to the coil. But just beyond the mesh there, you'll see that white rectangular washer. Now your cartridge, which on the forms, we call these carts, we call these addies. You'll see that this 510 cart is flat on two sides, your long side here and here, and the sides are rounded on the short ends. You want the long sides of your cart to match up with the long sides of the washer that is in there. And before you put it on, let's help with the primer taste in a brand new atomizer. Drip 3 drops of juice directly onto the mesh. Then you're going to line up your cart. Now the cart that you have is probably pre-filled. If it is, look and see if it looks a little dry. If it does, drip a couple of drops onto the top of the filler. Use a toothpick to move it around a little and just help to give it a little more juice. You're going to get better wicking if you have a full cart. Let's put atomizer onto our battery. Make it snug. Let's put our cone on. The first 3 or 4 inhales, I am not going, or draws, I'm not going to inhale in case there is any primer fluid sitting on the wick. It's got great vapor. Did something right. I'm not tasting any primer. I'm not tasting any metal in my mouth. So I feel like I'm good to go, ready to take a vaping inhale. Nice malty taste. I really like Backwoods Brew juice. Don does a really great job. Like I said, see if we can get it in there. That's the malty. And it's 16 milligram. Been slowly moving down my milligram usage. I was at 36 for a long time, and I'm working on it, trying to get my way work down to a lower milligram nicotine. Being a new atomizer, I did not flood it by putting in 3 drops. I've got a full cartridge on here. You watched me load it up. I'm not having any gurgling issues. No primer taste issue. I'm not choking, but if you're new to vaping, you may cough the first few times. I'm not sure what else I can tell you. Enjoy your Riva or your Ego, and if there are any other questions that anyone has, give me a shout out, give me a PM on the forums, shoot me a message on YouTube, and I'll do my best to answer your questions. Have a great night. One thing I did forget to mention is in a lot of the Riva kits that come in, you're told to condition the battery. They want you to charge it for 8 hours, vape it for 20 minutes, and then put it back on the charger for another hour. If you don't do this, you can void your warranty. If you have any battery problems within the first month, one of the first things they're going to ask you is, did you condition the battery? And if you would just take the time to condition the battery in the beginning, you'll have no problems. You can say, yes, I did, and your warranty will be good. A lot of the members on the forums will tell you you don't have to do this. But if the instructions tell you to condition the battery, I would advise you to do so.